Okay, guys, hello everybody, and thank you very much for coming. It's very, very important for me because it pushes me to learn whatever happens, you know. If we say that it is whatever happens in this week, then at least I need to go through all of that. So, Charles and Ignacio, James, Juan, Kevin, Lancer, very important Lancer, and Parag, Paul, Shin. Okay, sorry, cannot say it, Sarah and Scott and Steve. Okay, very welcome everybody. Let me open this chat. I like hello from Colombia. Okay, and of course, hello from Houston. And besides, I am not the presenter today, but Steve is presenter. And sorry, I am very, very sorry. Lance is the presenter, and we're both from Houston. That's what I was coming to. So if you guys say hello from Woodlands, but you should know Woodlands is within the greater Houston area. Let's put it this way. Yeah, I'm glad you could make to the session. Now, if you need the mic, then later on I can give you the mic, but for now, we will just use the text. And I'm introducing Lance or Lancer. He will tell you more about himself. So I'm sharing the screen. That is step number one. And I want to give Lance the presenter. There you are. I have promoted you to panelist. I have allowed you to talk. I already see you. And you should be able to enable your mic.
How about now?
Wonderful.
All
Yeah,
right.
very, very good.
Nice. Let's see, my camera is not on. I guess I'll do this. It's okay. I don't, well,
It's
maybe
okay.
my screen. So,
We'll share your publicity shots. Okay, I'm out.
okay, cool. Hey, folks. My name is Lance Kind. I also publish books under the name Lancer Kind. I'm a software developer slash agile coach who lives in the Houston area. And I'm also working on a Gen AI product that I'm bringing to market, related to helping podcasters get their listeners engaged. And uh, I won't speak too much on that unless people are curious. But the main point is we're here to talk about how to use agentic AI for writing code. And so I've prepared a demonstration using IntelliJ and their product called Junie. Before I get started, though, I'd like you to type into the chat if you, yes or no, if you use Agentic AI yet for coding, and then also mention what Agentic AI tool you use.
While people are typing, Lance, can you please share the screen just to verify that it will work for you?
Yeah, I'm a little worried because I don't have a
It's at the
camera.
bottom. No, that's okay.
I
At the bottom, there is a button, share, green button.
yeah, I don't see that. I feel like it's disabled.
Oh, that's very important. Let's try, let's try to figure it out. So I will share for a second. We'll anyway do the introduction. So for those people who are new here, I look at what is new, and today what is new is Lance Kind with his presentation. Before there was astronomy and airflow, and by the way, there is yet another new course. Every week there is a new course, and where you find it is up there. This is what I would call the learning path. And if you click on that link, you see all the courses that we surveyed. And the wonderful thing, I would say they're all relevant. So if you want to be an expert, it will be enormous if you do all these courses. But at the bottom, there is Meta, meaning Facebook, Llama 4, and they talk about how to build applications with Llama 4. That's it. I'm done with that. But I need to give you that link, giving you that link here. That's the link that you all need. Here. On the chat. Okay, and I see the wonderful answers already started coming. By the way, Lance, how is agentic AI used for coding different from, for example, if I use ChatGPT and ask it questions? That's
Yeah.
not agentic AI, or is it?
It's not. So the idea behind agentic AI is it's weird, right? The word agentic I think is rather artificial. It's been made up.
It
It's
is.
sort of like an adjective form of agent. So it's like we're saying agent,
Yes,
agent.
right. Andrew Ng said if it walks like an agent, quacks like an agent, it is an agent. In other words, yes, it is very imprecise term. But what I want to do is I stop share and see if you can find that share button.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm a Zoom user and I don't it just the button's not visible on my dash. So like your share button
Okay.
is to the right of maybe show captions. Is that where you would usually find it?
My share button is right in the middle.
Right in the middle. So all I have is audio on the far left. I don't have the video. I have chat, react, raise hand, Q&A, show
Okay.
captions.
Thank you, Parag. I have to make him a presenter. I make him only a session something. Okay, 1 second. Just panelist is not enough. Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit more on agentic AI. So the idea is that the agent has more agency and it has the agency to use tools that are local on your machine. And that's one part of it. The other part that I observe with agentic AI is it also doesn't depend on you to keep prompting it. It starts, oh, here we are. Let me click on something. Join as a panel.
The- Now you're mute.
Okay, now we're going to go full three-dimensional here.
Wow.
All right, let's see. Clicking on that. Share. All right, cool. Oh, you should be able to see my screen now, and I'll clear those tabs out in a minute. But so yeah, agentic AI means giving it more agency. At least this is what it means to me. Again, it's imprecise, but I'm just using it the way other people are using it. And that agency means it can do things like maybe write emails, run your IDE, list the files on your file system, uh, all kinds of possibilities. So I saw that not many people have used agentic AI for coding, and I've been using it now for a couple months. And what you see here is IntelliJ, by the way. And IntelliJ comes with a agentic AI capability called Junie. So this is the Junie tab where I can describe to Junie what to do. I also have another tab, which is more like what people are familiar with. If you just want to like chat with ChatGPT, you can click on the AI chat box up here, the little spiral one, rather than the one that looks kind of like a J with a face.
I'm sorry, is Junie a separate plugin? Do you need to install it?
Correct. Yeah, it's a separate
Okay.
plugin. Both, I believe, both require. So to get this capability in your IntelliJ, you have to spend an extra $10 a month. And you can see down here in the either Junie or this one, you can pick, oh, maybe I'm incorrect on that one. I see Junie, I thought I could pick my LLM. I'm not, but this one in the AI chat, I can pick my LLM if I care to change that. And so even without the agentic AI, using something like cursors, if you're using sorry, what's that IDE? Visual Studio Code or Visual Code. You can this AI will actually tell me a lot more interesting things. Like I can ask it problems if I copy paste things like I do in a chat GPT into here and then ask it about an error message, it actually can read my code. So it will tell me it'll give me much more informed responses because it knows the context. In fact, the context down here, you could turn it off, but right now it says it's monitoring my code base. You see, so like I could grab just it's okay. You don't need to understand this. This, by the way, this is a Java application. And I could say like, what is this for? So right now I'm just demonstrating the non-agentic, just the regular AI assistant, which is like the ones from GitHub Copilot. And so now it tells me about that. And it gives me the usual responses you would get from a ChatGPT session. However, it also can tell me about what's in my code. In this particular prompt I gave, it didn't seem to use any of that information. So actually it did. See, it actually has, I only gave it the one line, but I only gave it the API invoices, but it actually pulled out more information. So this is part of setting up the server's routing in your method. So it's pointing back at my code and telling me, using that context to help answer questions. And it says, this is the defining API endpoints that your microservice will expose. How is my font size, by the way? Maybe I need to make it bigger. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know how to do that.
It's okay
Oh,
for me,
there
I
it is.
see it, but yeah,
Okay.
bigger is better.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have a difficulty if I get too big. Okay, cool. So that's the code assistant. But let's go into the Genic AI. Let's work with Junie. But first, let me clean up a little bit and close some tabs because things get messy because I was working with it earlier today. So from the high point,
Once they say you can go into presentation mode, can you find the presentation mode?
did the wrong thing there. Sorry, I closed it. I don't know about presentation mode in IntelliJ,
Okay.
but I think I can bring it up here because one of the reasons I use IntelliJ is it's a more modern IDE and it's more helpful. So
Yeah, my favorite too. But can you show it back? Because
yeah,
right now it's only you and not the screen.
let's see here. IntelliJ, share. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then presentation mode. If I go up here and just type in come on. Should spell it right. All right.
Ah, nice.
I'm not sure that's going to be helpful though if I'm working with other tab windows.
Okay. Maybe presentation mode is not good for showing all the tabs.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, cool. Let's figure out how to take it out now. I don't know how to turn it off. That's the irony. Okay. The person who suggested presentation mode, do they know how to shut it off? Let's annotate.
No, we know.
That's unfortunate. Didn't, oh wait, what's this little floating thing here? I think that's it. All right, stop sharing. Oh, that's from Zoom. Oh, there it is. Appearance. There's appearance menu somewhere under view. Okay, cool. Cool. And but you can tell I'm also a little bit of a fairly new IntelliJ user. I've used it I used it off and on for a year before this, and then I took a break for a few months, and now I'm back on it. Okay, so let's talk about what we want to do today. So folks, would you like me to build something from scratch, or would you like me to change some existing code? Go ahead and mention in the comments what your impression would be or what you would like.
For me, it's more interesting to change the existing code. Let's say Paul says the same thing.
Okay. There's my close all tabs
Okay.
instead of, okay. Um, I'll go with that. So here we have, in this particular application, I have, this is some real work I want to do. And I tried this out beforehand and it's not going to go smoothly, but it'll give you the idea about the capabilities of Junie. This application was built with Junie initially. I said, hey, Junie, give me an application. Here, I got a visual. Give me an application for a course on teaching API testing. And broadly, architecturally, I need something that has a consumer API, meaning somebody's going to use the API, a producer of the API, and that producer is also dependent on somebody else. So I have three layers here. And so what I did before I put Junie to work is I just filled out this README a little bit to plan out what I was going to do. And I said, let me make this larger because that font is small. So I'm describing what I want to do, and then this workshop it will have these things and some specific libraries for implementing the testing. So it's about test automation and APIs. And so these two things were a key point, and this one seemed important as well. And so I just filled out this README. I didn't have the image at the time, and I described what I wanted to do, and that's about it. I had maybe a little bit more content than this, and I said, okay, Junie, build me a microservice that and a client for the microservice that passes an invoice around. And I actually didn't bring up the third-party dependency. I added that in later because I wanted to start a little simple. And so I told Junie to do that. And then to my surprise, she went and read my README file first and then got more context. So she says, oh, this is going to be use Java. It's going to, because I forgot to tell her that. And it's going to use some tools like OpenAPI for specifying the API. Note it's OpenAPI rather than OpenAI. And so then she got to work. And after about 40 minutes, she had something that was working and had tests to prove that it was working. And then that was good for initial start, but there were some problems. So the first problem is Junie didn't use very modern Java dependencies, and so I had to go update those, and that turned out to be challenging because Junie was struggling with that too. She was like changing the dependency versions, trying to get them compatible, because if you have multiple dependencies trying to use the same common libraries, that creates a coupling, and sometimes those libraries aren't compatible with, they might be compatible with one dependency, but they're not compatible with another. So she had to back and forth and to try that out a few times. I promise not to talk too much more. I'm just trying to lay the groundwork.
Quick question. When you said 40 minutes, was it Junie's time when she was trying to try it, seeing the errors and then fixing it, or were you helping it? Was it
Oh,
your time combined with its time?
it was mostly, I don't think I helped it much. I was just trying to see how well she would do. And so the only thing I had to do, as you'll see in a moment, is I had it set for approval mode, meaning before Junie does something that changes an important file, which I think is all the files, it would ask me for permission to do that. So I could do a code review and then hit OK, code review and hit OK. So I had to be involved, and I got kind of tired. That got tiresome, to be frank, after a while. And so I turned it on to brave mode, which means just go do it, and then I can walk away, go do something, and then come back. So my 40 minutes timing wasn't really that good because I did have this walk away moment, and then came back and saw what the results were. So I didn't help it pretty much at all, and it got something working. What I'm going to demonstrate today now is converting this microservice to use a different type of technology for the microservice. And I tried it before this moment just to see how it would go. And it didn't complete the job. It got stuck on some things. And so I expect that'll happen again, but you know, it's non-deterministic, so we'll see. Okay, so this will be the point of contact where Junie's going to do a lot of work. I want to turn this into a Spring Boot microservice instead of as implemented. It's a Java microservice in a generic sense, but Spring Boot's a more standard, but I would call it, I don't know if it's more powerful, but you could say it's more powerful and convenient and standard, and those things help out a lot. I know I said the word powerful again, but there's power in convenience and standards, so that's probably why I use that word. So anyways, let me tell Junie what I want her to do, and there's a couple of key points you're going to see. So I showed you this, the microservice.java. That's going to require a lot of changes. When Junie's finished, she'll update the README. She seems to do that all the time. Great, thank you, Junie. And then the other key point will be something called a POM file. So the POM file is where all the dependencies are recorded, and this is how the build gets automated. And Junie recorded, when I first created this app with Junie, she built the POM file as she should for Java. There's a couple strategies in Java, and I think Junie asked me, do I want to use what's called Maven, which uses POM files, or do I want to use this other thing? And I said, oh, let's stick with Maven. So that's what the POM file is for, Maven. And so it has all these dependencies and versions, and this is where it keeps track of how to build the application. Before I start unleash Junie on it, let me prove that it works here. So if I go to Maven and say, hey, Maven, run the tests, it will. The red lines are warnings because I don't have some things included that aren't necessary, and so I don't care to include them. It'll actually make the example more convoluted. So, things for like logging. So that's one way of showing the test output. The other way is I can just run them using this test runner. The key point, sorry, I got to slow down a little bit. The key point, you see build success and the tests were run. And the other way I can run the test that's a little bit clearer is I can use a test runner and it'll expose a little more information. So it gives check, 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 all the tests are working. And Junie, again, built those tests as well because she knew I was interested in using these testing tools because I had this tool called Rest Assured and this tool called WireMock, but at the time I didn't talk to her about WireMock. So she inferred that I was going to want to have the API tested because I honestly can't remember my original prompt, but I don't recall being super clear with her on that. Okay, so I got these tests and they all got green checks. And the goal is after I tell Junie to do something, I should see green checks again. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go into Junie now, not the AI assistant, and see there's this Brave mode you can select, and it'll just keep running along, and you can walk away from your computer, and then you can come back and see what the result is. The drawback to that is you have to catch up with a lot of stuff that you may not know why or what she did. It's like doing a code review of somebody who you didn't collaborate with directly. I'll leave it in regular mode because I think that's probably what people want to see is what it's like. And this is the easiest way to see what it's like. So Junie, let's see, convert the microservice in invoice microservice. See, I'm just referencing this file name over here to use the latest. Last time I used Junie earlier today, I didn't tell her to use the latest Spring Boot, and this might be helpful if I tell her this Spring Boot. Okay, and I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if I could prompt her a little bit better for better success, and I just used the latest Spring Boot, and after that she can work out and infer whatever she needs to do to get going. All right. And if you're a little bit like unsure, you could say plan, give me a plan to do this. And Junie will tell you the plan before actually executing it. But I think folks probably want to see some action. So let's get some action. All right, so you can see it's sending the LLM request, it's working. And sometimes you realize, oh, I made a horrible mistake. You could click stop, save some of your tokens. I don't know if this For $10 a month, that's a good deal for inference cost if you use this a lot. I don't know if it's throttled at some point. I haven't gone over any quotas that I know of. All right, so she tells me the plan. It's going to look at the code, going to check the current state. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good way to present this. Maybe a little more here. Let's close this. Hide some things here. Okay, cool. So she's got a checklist and she's checking it. Oh, what's this? So this is another part of the log. Oh, I'm already at an approval step. So anyways, she's checking the current test to make sure she understands how they interact. And so she's already at a step where she wants approval. So I can now inspect it. If I click on that, this annotation tells me she's going to add 8 lines and take 1 away. And so here we are. We have Spring Boot. Great. 3.25. I was checking this earlier. Well, it's okay. I'm not going to distract us. But yeah, this could be the latest now. I don't know. I forgot exactly what the number was. It's pretty close to it. And she took out the old Spring version. Oh, that's interesting. So she's removing, I was using Spring in general, not Spring Boot. And so she took that out, probably because it's not necessary. But anyways, I'll hit approve. And she's going to keep working at it. And it's telling me, the checklist right now is check the current tests, understand how they interact. And then this must be the details as she's going through step 2. She's opening these files. She edited the POM to include Spring Boot parent and necessary dependencies. And then now attempting to change it. So now more changes. It's going to add 12 lines. Let's see, it's going to add. That all looks normal. It's adding this starter test piece. She's chugging along. And now she's going to edit. Now this is that file I showed earlier where the major changes are going to happen. And so she edited it, didn't need permission apparently, which is fine. I've been slowly turning off a lot of the permissions. I don't know why she stops on the POM. Perhaps there's a bunch of fine grain permissions you can turn on and off. And maybe I didn't change the one for the build automation, just maybe the ones for the files. But I can look at it even though she doesn't need approval. So you see it went from this sort of simpler set of dependencies to something more standard, but a little more complicated. Okay, that's true. So Spring Boot's used in enterprise production environments, and I don't know if people would ever use the Java built-in ability to sort pages in the way in an enterprise production environment. I didn't see any problems with it, frankly, but anyways, it's got to add a bunch of things that will, if you will, make it more enterprise ready. And she says she's having trouble. Oh, must be having a connectivity issue. I don't know what that's about. Well, it seems like it got over that. We're going to retry the LLM request. So yeah, Junie is some kind of API that IntelliJ has control of. And maybe this is their differentiation, is how they use the LLMs that are upstream from us. That might be what they consider their contribution.
Now, all votes for IntelliJ. Yeah, it is the best. I have the advantage of asking you questions directly. So right
Yeah.
away, is Junie is it manufactured by IntelliJ team, or is that another team doing that? Do you know?
It's from the same company. So it is,
Same company. Okay.
yeah.
Because I also have the subscription to the AI, the one that you showed, top right. But it's a different version, it seems like they're experimenting. Then another question, have you seen codecs which should be doing the same thing kind of, It never worked for me. Codexes from ChatGPT. It is supposed to write even Jira requests, work on
Oh,
your issues in GitHub and implement them, but it never worked for me. So I'm stuck with just asking questions and then implementing. I would prefer something like Junie, and I will definitely try that.
yeah. Yeah, I've not used Codex,
Okay.
and I don't know if Junie could write Jira tickets. This, I don't know how they focus their time on, the question is we'll assume they're using like something like MCP, which I forgot what it stands for, but it's the API for tools that agentic AI can use. And so the question is, well, can Junie create a Jira ticket? And I guess I'd have to ask her. And that's really helpful if you're working in enterprises because, for example, there's a bunch of like, all these little details take time, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes of getting the ticket ID into before you commit the code, you need to put the ticket ID into the comment for the code commit. Otherwise, um, the pipeline may reject it because they don't know what you're working on. They want to have that traceability, and there's reasons for that traceability for compliance reasons in certain organizations. In other organizations, they just don't care about that. Hey, Mark, if you don't mind, yeah, I love that you're reading out the comments as they go in live. If you
I'm doing that, so we're working well together. I'm reading the comments, I'm answering when I can. And these are useful. So my experience with Codex, I was very impressed with the advertised capability, but ChatGPT itself kept saying that, don't use Codex. It looks like a jealousy scene. Seriously, and no, instead you're not ready for Codex. That's what it will say. So I'm still not using Codex, but I hope to because how nice you step away for 40 minutes and what it gives you are the PR, the pull requests.
Yeah.
That's very promising. It also taught me the good discipline of programming. I asked about why are you doing pull requests even between branches? And it correctly answered that that's the best practice. Not only that, it taught me how to document my architectural decisions and make that part of committed code so that when you look back at your code, you have not only the code story, but also your design decision story, all part of issue, all part of your committed code under doc. So you learn from it. You learn from it, then you teach it. That's my point of view. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, yeah, and there's okay, so other key tips if you're going to run out and try Junie, having there's a IntelliJ tip about creating something. I'm going to get the name wrong. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a subdirectory in here called .j Junie, and in there you put in a markup file, a markdown file, like my README, and you can to give it the context for Junie, like maybe every line of code you write a test for or something like that. You can basically put in your prompts for Junie. And I haven't used that capability because I try not to like overdo things until I know I need them. So my observation was it was hugely valuable to have a README that could explain to Junie about what I was going to do. And I didn't even know that wasn't even for Junie. That was just for me making the announcing what I was trying to do to myself and thinking about it before I unleashed Junie. Okay, cool. So she's starting to run the tests. Remember, I had existing tests, and where is she at? She's done a bunch of work. Let's look at this in detail here because there's some interesting things. I don't know like cursors and the other ones well enough to know how well they are debugging their problems. But so for example, she found a problem. There's an IO exception in invoice test, and she's trying to fix it. And then there's an other. So the tests are failing, right? And if I look at this, let's see what we got. No such method error. So when the tests were executed, so it compiles, but when the tests were executed, she's discovering it's not working well. New such, and this is probably what will, I don't know if I'll get much further on this because I have a feeling now it's going to take a human to solve this. Anyways, she's going to edit the palm again. She's trying to get something fixed. And let's take a quick peek. Okay, so she's trying to use this thing called client 5 in the, and they'll even put in comments like, well, why are you using client 5? And it says, add an explicit version of HTTP5 that works with WireMock. So that's one of my pre-existing dependencies. And she's suspecting that there's a problem with WireMock. And that's why her hypothesis is that that's causing my tests to fail, this problem down here. And so she's going to give it a shot. So I'll just click approve. And she's going to work on it for a minute. Meanwhile, I can show you another thing that I've been working on. So I got the IntelliJ Ultimate Edition because I work in a lot of different languages, and the Ultimate Edition comes with their entire suite of language-specific versions of IDEA or IntelliJ. IDEA is the name of the company, IntelliJ is the product. But then they name each product a little differently. So I have another copy of this IDE from, oh, I gotta change my share.
Yeah, and then they iterate fast. They had a separate tool for writing books, and that was called the Writer. And
Oh,
it's retired, and instead it's part of every other IDE. So you need to find your way in the marketing department to ask questions.
so here's
But
the, oh, she's just trying to make some more changes. She's trying to get you can see it's all about the tests now. So she sort of thinks, well, maybe not. She did change the invoice microservice too. By the way, from a developer standpoint, it looks directionally correct. I see the Spring Boot application markup in here, which is new. That wasn't there before. I'm seeing, what is this? The main function needs to be adjusted to accommodate, what is going on here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was passing around configuration settings in the previous version, and now I'm really surprised. I'm not sure what's going on here. I can see she's taking arguments for the configuration, but
I often ask it, I ask, why did you choose this particular decision? And I learn or I don't.
oh, you can, oh, okay.
Yeah, I ask about every decision, a
Follow.
decision they take.
So I don't know what happens if I start talking to her while she's busy. It says type a follow-up task. Oh, she thinks she's done. Oh, okay. She thinks she's done. But I would say she's not done because see, my tests aren't passing. So I disagree with with her. Um, and this doesn't look right actually. So I'm going to close my tabs. I don't know why I'm seeing some of those changes don't look right to me. It looked better earlier when I was trying it out. Let me see here. Close that. Close that. Anyways, okay, so let's go back to here. So she said she changed this. This is the ultimate changes she made. Is she added Spring Boot, which is perfectly makes sense. She took out the Spring version. Must be embedding it down here somewhere. Not sure. I'll be curious where the Spring version ended up. Okay, so all right, and then she's using this other client that she hypothesizes will work with WireMock. She thinks that's why the tests aren't passing. And I'm afraid I don't think that's probably the right conclusion. Oh, there's the Spring Boot version. So they embedded the version into this section rather than put it here, which is, this is a better, putting your versions all together in one spot so you can easily scan it is a better way to declare them here and then it is to put it all throughout the file. So but she'll actually refactor to that if you ask her. In fact, I guess I could tell her that. Please put the versions in the POM. compile together with properties. All right, that's a little cryptic, but that's the shorthand. We'll see if she got it. This is why I typed to her like she's another developer, because I think a developer would be able to make that closure. So I think she'll, they, LLMs usually do pretty good at that. So I expect this to migrate over here, and then she's going to use a variable to represent the version. Oh, that's cool, right there. At least that's what I would do by hand. Okay, edit. All right, so Spring Boot's right there, like I was expecting it that she would do. And then she's going to have to use that, though, and I don't see a change where she was using it. So something, well, let's see here. Where is Spring Boot framework? Right here. I feel like maybe I have to prove a second change. I wonder if she doesn't. I'm a little puzzled. I want to see, I expect to see the version referenced. Like you see here, it says WireMock version. We should see something like that. Oh, here it comes probably. Okay. Oh, she's doing it backwards. That's not good. Like, she's putting the, hold on. I'm sorry. Nope, she did it right. I got confused. I got confused. Okay. Yep. She's doing it exactly the way she should. I know I should call it it, but since it has a feminine name, it just, you
You
know.
see the discussion going on.
All right, so approve. All right, so it'll probably work equally as good as it did when we got started here with my test still failing. But anyways, yeah, so there's a little bit of code cleanup. Um, Another thing that, hold on, why isn't it done yet? What are we doing now? Hmm. Hard coded to 330. Okay. Okay. Oh, she's now moving HTTP 5, HTTP client 5. That's good. And so she's finding other things and following that same pattern, because you can see my properties file is getting bigger now. The properties block is bigger, because I did have some things hard coded. It's just when it was repeated, I thought, oh, I don't want it repeated. But it's not a bad move, I guess. All right, let me think about this. What else I want to say? Oh, okay. So folks, if you're software developers, what I think is another thing that's high value for having an AI, doesn't have to be agentic, is to be able to pop open the chat and ask it to code, review your code. So something like that. And because it can see your code base, of course, it's really quick and fast rather than copy pasting into ChatGPT. And so now it's suggesting that I use something called a record, which is a more modern convention for structures that you're going to use for data. In here, console output, I can use text blocks. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is another way to make it look a little bit better probably than what I had in that code. And I wonder if it'll take me right there. No. I wanted a hyperlink so I could just jump right there. Oh, here's one with a hyperlink. And then pattern matching when handling exceptions. Not sure. I'm curious. I don't know what that's. Okay, what did I have versus what it has? I'm a little curious about that. So I have one exception somewhere. Invoice processed by Abacus. Yes. I have a try catch block down here, which looks a lot different than this one. So I'm just printing out the error and Junie suggesting that I have more specific errors. Okay, cool. Yeah. Specific to an IO exception versus a general exception. That's probably a judgment call there. uh, yeah, I'm not sure that's a lot high value. Okay, what's this? Switch expressions. You could use switch expressions if you need to handle different invoice statuses. Maybe I have, it's probably seen somewhere where I have a lot of if and an else or something. Let's look for the word paid. Okay. And, that's the only place I use that. Okay, so if you get a status and it will select, okay, I see. It's for returning the status of the request to the client because this is a client server application. Yeah, I can't quickly find where that is in the code and why. Like, I really like the hyperlink. This must be a concept she's teaching me because it doesn't link to the code. Well, let's say I can apply the changes to the currently open file. Here, I'll click on it and see what she does. So now you can see I have the chat agent and I have the agentic agent, and you can use both. So Mark, when you were saying like I ask it why you want me to do something, sometimes while Junie's busy, I'll copy paste something Junie is doing and then paste it into the chat agent and ask it about, hey, what is this about? I don't understand, and it will teach me. I don't know if it worked because I don't have a way to know what line of code she was looking at. So I guess I gotta look for a case. Do I have a case in here? I don't have a case in here. So I don't know. And so, yeah, now here's about a specific detail called initialize sample. That's pretty good advice, but it's, yeah. Anyways, lots of details. You may not be too interested in that, but let me show you, let's see how much time I have. Okay, I have 10 minutes. Let me show you what I'm doing in another project. I'll have to get my Zoom window down here. I'll have to change the share. And
Let's do more like 5 minutes because I want to
okay, no
conclude a little bit.
No problem. And then I'm going to show you
Thank you.
another project that I'm working on. Now this one's a web, this is built in JavaScript. And so I'm using IDEA's JavaScript IDE. Are you seeing my IDE right now with the
Yes.
pinwheel? I don't know. I have a pinwheel though. That seems like the IDE is stuck, or there's a window. Sometimes it may be a dialog box somewhere that wants attention, and I don't know. Okay, so anyways, I can't. It looks like my IDE has gotten hung up somewhere, and I want to, well, maybe I could exit it. Oh, it says, all right, so I have to kill that one. I don't know if I have time. Well, I'll just verbally tell you what I have going on here. Is in the README, I specified a bunch of tests using natural language, and in order to specify to the Junie what I want to build. And so it's a form of, it's called behavior-driven development. You can look it up if you want. It's a way of using natural language to give a specification to either an engineer or in this case to an AI. And using this strategy, and this is a work in progress. It builds, but I haven't like ran it yet. It's creating a schema for a database. It's creating another microservice, and it's creating a front end using React. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't think it built the React front end yet. This was just the back end stuff. That's all I have for you guys today.
Lance, thank you so much because I think it was a tremendous effort. Okay, we made mistakes. We'll try not to call Junie she, but because it's unfair. Are women better than men, or are men better than women, or can we say that they shouldn't compete? But we will call it it. Okay. Now, what I absolutely loved is your presentation and at the same time a chat. So, and we had so much chat. So I'm thinking maybe there will be another person next time so that he or she, not it, will be able to say something there. Okay. I also want to say, guys, thank you for suggesting the mic. It just arrived at my door. I didn't have the time to grab it, but the next time I'll have it. And basically, thank you very much, everyone. Whatever suggestions, whatever questions you have, please put them out, and I will put them in the next. Uh, English needs a gender neutral pronoun. Yeah, and think about the languages. They have sometimes more indication of the gender and sometimes less of English. In any case, thanks everybody. Have a great evening and have a great weekend and a great year, everyone. Thanks again and thank you, Lance.
Yep. Cheers.
All right, goodbye. Be well.